So right now I'm on página 26 of the verbos paquete in Schoology. It's the big packet of all the AR, ER, IR verbs, the one we've been working on. And you guys had the ER homework for today. So we're looking at página, 25. Let's just go over this and just look at your work and make sure that you got the right answers so we can review. So the question we have for numero uno, we're asking, do you believe in God? And so it's do, and it's going to be crees. Do you believe in God? Here we're asking deber is to, ought to, or should, la obligación. So should we go to the mall this weekend? So nosotros, so we should have said debemos, should we, debemos nosotros ir al centro comercial este fin de semana. And then we're asking here, what do we learn today or what did we learn in la clase de ciencias? And so since it's nosotros, and we want to say, what did we learn? So we would say, ¿qué aprendimos nosotros? And then down here, we have to decide which verb to use. So it says, tú siempre blanco la tele cuando quiero leer. We're trying to say that you always turn on the TV. So we should have said, tú siempre prendes la televisión. Prender is to turn on. Nosotros en la clase de gimnasia ayer. So probably we would say that we ran. And since it's ayer, we want the past, no el presente. So we would say nosotros corrimos. Mi familia, we're trying to say that my family sold our house. And since we have el año pasado, we know that it should be past. And familia is singular, so it would be mi familia vendió nuestra casa el año pasado. Now we're trying to ask something about el último episodio de Bridgerton. Did you guys see? So the verb is ver, and we have vieron. That's one of our irregular ones. We have vi, and viste, and vio, and vimos, and visteis, and vieron. So vieron is one of our irregulars. So, ¿qué piensas? What are you thinking about durante el almuerzo? What are you thinking about eating? So when we use pensar with a verb, ¿qué piensas estudiar esta noche? What do you think about eating? ¿Qué piensas comer? Are you thinking about eating? ¿Qué piensas mirar en la televisión? So we can always ask, what are you thinking about doing? So now we're trying to ask, do you guys know where Spanish class is? So because saber is to know facts, we should say, ¿sabéis vosotros dónde es la clase de español? Here we're trying to say that it smells good here. El difusor de señora Coriale hay aceite de jengibre. Remember that gingerbread oil en el difusor. So we want to say huele bien. So remember, oler is one of our very irregular ones. Not a lot are like this, especially in our list. We have a lot of regulars, but huelo is I smell. Hueles is you smell. Huele, he or she smells. And then it turns over to olemos. So it's a boot verb. It does not change outside of the boot, but we have that really irregular form here and then it goes back to huelen because we're back outside of the boot again. So you should know that one just in general. Huele bien, aquí huele mal. So now we're trying to say we don't understand anything in physics class. That would be me. And we don't have a subject here. So we could say no comprendo if it was I, or comprendemos. That should have been a subject there. Now we're trying to say who responds to many questions in la clase de señora Coriale, and the question is Eva does. So, ¿quién responde? ¿Responde? Sí, responde a muchas, we should have the a in there, a muchas preguntas en la clase de señora Eva. And if you thought it was past, like who responded, you could have said, ¿quién respondió? Either one would be okay there, based on the context. So your last homework assignment is going to be to finish the ER and IR And I did, when I put the notes up here with the verbs, I did put a lot of words in parentheses, and that was meant to help you write sentences. So when you look at the verbs at the top, for example, you have morirse, se murió el año pasado. So you can use some of the words that are in the parentheses to help you write those original sentences in ER, IR. So I'm just going to go over the definitions. If you could just make sure that you have them. So for ir, that's going to be irregular in the presente and the pasado. So I'll do both. I'll give you the definition. So we have fui and fuiste and fue. Remember those, and fuimos. So those are your irregulars. And then for the present, that's the pretérito. And then in the presente, it's going to be voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, and van. And then for our definición, we have moverse hacia un lugar determinado. And that's going to be to move toward a determined place. So make sure you have that. We have salir. Oops. Okay, so next we have salir, and that's our yogo verb. So that means that we have salgo, and then the rest are regular sales, sale, salimos, and salís, and salen. And then the rest are regular. So the pretérito, we have regular. And our definición is going to be ir a pasar de un lugar al exterior. So we could just say pasar de un lugar al exterior. To pass from a place to the outside, to leave, salir. We have admitir, la verdad. This is regular, totally regular in presente y pasado. And we have reconocer algo como cierto, to recognize something, algo como cierto, as the truth. Next, we have dormir or dormirse. And those are actually, we have our OGUE verbs, and this is also considered a slipper verb. So in the presente, we would say duermo, and duermes, and duerme, right? And dormimos. We know it's our boot verb, and duermen. But also remember in the pretérito, it's one of our slipper verbs. That means just the bottom half. We have durmió and durmieron. Just the third person, singular and plural, get that you. Otherwise, it's just dormí, dormiste. It's regular everywhere else. Dormimos, dormisteis. And then our definition is going to be reposar con los ojos cerrados. To rest with the eyes closed es un estado inconsciente. Suspenden las funciones sensoriales y movimientos voluntarios. So it's an unconscious state. So your functions, your sensorial, all your functions are sensory functions are and movements are, they stop, they suspend. Morirse. So we have another irregular. We have muero, mueres, muere. And then we have morimos. So this is one of our boot verbs, morimos. Moris or mueren. And then it also tells us that we have that slipper. So that second indication there always indicates that it's a second spelling change. So we would say morí, moriste, you died. Or me morí, I died, me morí, te moriste. And then we're going to say se murió. Here it's going to be that you, or murieron for the other one. So that O goes to you there. And dejar de estar vivo, to stop being alive, literally. Okay, next we have permitir. This is all regular. And your definition is going to be dejar hacer algo. So to allow to do something, so to permit. So this would be dejar hacer algo, to allow something to be done, basically. Permitir. Then we have añadir. This is regular in the conjugations. And our definición is going to be unir una cosa a otra, to unite one thing with another. Then you have seguir. We have ir después o detrás de otra, to go after or behind someone. So ir detrás de otro. And then this one is irregular. So we have seguí and we have seguiste. And then we have this E to I, and that's actually, so it's going to be siguió, oops, and seguimos, seguís, and siguieron. So that is actually one that changes like a slipper, siguieron. And then that's the pretérito. And then we have, it's actually a stem changer too. So it's going to be sigo, sigues, sigue. This is the presente. And then we have our boot. So it's going to be seguimos, seguís, and siguieron. So we're back in the boot down here with our UE. Or, sorry, E to I. Vivir. We have estar vivo, pasar la vida en un lugar determinado. So we could just say to be alive. I'll just take estar vivo as the definition. And that's regular. Recibir. We have tomar algo que se le da. Algo que se le da. So take something that is given to you or to someone. Decidir. We have tomar una determinación definitiva, to take a definitive determination. That's regular. We also have subir, ir de un lugar a otro más alto, to go from a place to another place that's higher. That's to go up, subir. We have a couple more. Imprimir. This is regular, as well as compartir. We have mandar un documento a una impresora. That's to print. Then we have compartir, to share. Darle parte de algo a otra persona. So to give to someone a part of something. And that's regular. We have oír, which is percibir sonidos por medio del sentido del oído. To perceive sounds. Sounds through hearing. And that's oír. And this is actually irregular. In the pretérito, we have oí, oíste. And then we have oyó. This one's pretty irregular. Oímos, oísteis, and oyeron. That's our pretérito. In the presente, we also have irregular. It's oigo, oyes, oye. Then we have oímos, oís, and oyen. And our last verb, I can't believe we finished. Sentirse is to feel. And that's actually really irregular. So we know it's E to IE. So you would say me siento, or te sientes, or se siente. And then we have nos sentimos. This is one of our boot verbs. Os sentís. And then we would have, it's one of our E, it has the slipper. So it would be sentí, sentiste, and then sintió. Instead of sentió, it's sintió. That's why we have the E to I, sintieron. And then the rest are regular. So for the blue class only, if you're the blue class, you are going to go to the lecturas, and I want you to do volleyball reading with a partner to finish the class for today. So you're going to go to lecturas, and the gold class already did this, so you can just ignore this for now. You're looking at the lectura sobre excusas, and you want to work with a partner and just do the volleyball reading where you go back and forth and read the text. One person does Espanol, the other person translates to English and does the next Spanish line. If you're the gold class, you can look on Schoology to check and see if there's anything else you have to do, but you do want to do that IR practice. And then everyone should just be studying and reviewing at this point. We do have our test coming up next week, and I will give you a little practice sheet when I see you the day before the test. But studying the terms and making flashcards and just making sure you know how to conjugate right now is the most important thing to get ready. Muchas gracias, estudiantes.